Welcome to Elizabeth Reads. We are reading Tamsin Winters' Girl in Real Life. We are on chapter 8. Good morning. Upstairs, I lay on my bed and messaged Hallie, telling her what had happened, but she didn't reply. I heard Dad's car pull up and I held my breath, trying to listen to what Mom was telling him, but they must have been talking really quietly, and anyway, he didn't come upstairs. I opened my sketchbook and carried on drawing the butterfly wings, adding swirly clouds and raindrops around them. A reply from Hallie flashed up on my phone. "Don't worry about it, Eva. Everyone feels weird about starting their period. I had to tell Mr. Elliot about mine, remember? It's only Alfie who thinks it's funny. At least it's just your mom in the video. Personally, I think the avocado costume one was way worse." I sank further into my bed and watched the views counter go up and up. 500,000, 550,000, 600,000. I wished I could stay in my bedroom for the rest of my life. The idea of getting abducted by aliens was weirdly appealing. Later, Dad called. "Eva, can you come down and talk to us, please? I've made Ablaskiver." They were definitely taking what I'd said about ending the channel seriously if Dad had made Ablaskiver. They're these Danish pancake balls, a bit like spherical donuts. Farmor made them whenever we went to stay at hers in Dragor. Dad only usually made them on special occasions like Christmas and birthdays. And this one time when Denmark beat Sweden in the World Cup qualifiers. I guess they're good for when you've totally humiliated your daughter, too. I hid my sketchbook in the back of my wardrobe, then I slowly walked downstairs. My mouth watered as I smelled the warm, donut-y smell. Farmers were nicer than Dad's because she put way more sugar in. We'd eat them on her patio looking out to the harbor. She'd tell me these Danish folk tales that always had some moral message in them that she'd make me guess. I'd always get it wrong. As I got older, I'd get it wrong on purpose just to hear her laugh. Dad smiled as I sat down at the table. "I'm sure there's a way we can sort this out." His voice sounded gentle and calm. It was like landing softly on the grass after sitting in the swing seat for too long. I had to block out what it was doing to my heart because I didn't want to disappoint him, but I didn't want private stuff about me on YouTube either. Dad dipped an Ablaskiv into maple syrup and held it out to me, but I shook my head. No matter how good that little pancake ball looked, it was a bribe, and I wasn't going to eat it. "We know you're upset right now, Eva," Dad said, putting the Ablaskiv on a plate and pushing it towards me, "but let me just read you some of the comments. Love this video, so inspiring. Thank you for all the lovely recommendations. My daughter will love this. Thank you, amazing mom." I felt his eyes on me, but I couldn't look up from the tablecloth. "Love Eva so much. Love you, Jen." I rubbed the tears caught in my eyelashes. "That's Alice Sparkle 1000, I said. She puts the exact same comment every time. So, when are you taking it down?" Dad took a deep breath. "Listen, Eva, I agree with you that Jen's period post was personal." My cheeks flushed when Dad said the word period. He was speaking in his serious business voice, like he did whenever he talked about the channel. My dad used to be a commercial architect. He designed buildings and renovations for businesses and stuff. I loved going to his office because he let me draw at his gigantic desk, and there were old scale models of buildings I could play with. But a few years ago, the channel got too big for Mom to manage on her own, so he quit his job and started working on the channel full-time. He stopped drawing buildings and started talking about things like metadata and monetized content and optimizing revenue. Mom calls the channel a community. Dad calls it a business, which I guess means I'm an employee. Only employees are allowed to quit, so it technically makes me a hostage. Since Dad quit his job, everything's felt more pressured, like this experiment Mr. Jacobs showed us once in science. He put an alarm clock inside a bell jar, then used this machine called a vacuum pump to suck all the air out of it. I was afraid to watch in case the glass imploded, but it didn't. I guess that's how I feel sometimes, like there's all this pressure on me, but no one can see it because it's invisible, and no one on the outside can hear me either. "So," I repeated, "when are you taking it down?" Dad put an Ablaskiv in his mouth and gave Mom a look. She nodded at him. Clearly, they had rehearsed who was saying what. "Eva, listen," Mom said. "We know you're unhappy about the period video. I messed up, okay? I'm sorry. I should have told you about it." "You shouldn't have done it, like you promised." Dad leaned forward and put his hand on my arm. "Hey, we appreciate your growing up, and from time to time we share things you find embarrassing. We get it. But this is all part of building the brand." The brand was like the fourth member of our family. Most of the time, the brand felt like the most important member of our family. I want you to stop the channel, I said, and pushed the obelisk away from me. Okay, well, Dad shifted his feet under the table and accidentally kicked me. I sighed and moved my feet under my chair. The thing is, he carried on, we had a pretty important phone call earlier. A smile flashed on his face for a split second, and then he went back to looking serious. There's no easy way to say this, but as I'm sure you know, Jen's period vlog has gone viral, and we've been asked to go on television on Wednesday to talk about it. It felt like he'd dropped a boulder on my chest. I couldn't breathe. You know the breakfast show, Good Morning, Mom said? They've invited us on, and we know this is the worst timing because you're still upset, sweetie. But this is an amazing opportunity. They have literally millions of viewers. It's what we've been waiting for. She clutched my hand as she carried on speaking. I listened, but it was like the room was plugged into Mr. Jacobs' vacuum pump machine and it was sucking out all the air. I couldn't hear what she was saying. I couldn't even breathe. And naturally, they've invited you on too, Mom said, unable to disguise the excitement in her voice. It's totally up to you, Eva. We'd love you to come on with us. It would mean missing a day of school, but Lars and I can go on by ourselves. No pressure, okay? We want it to be a really positive interview. So, Eva, say something, sweetie. I squeezed my eyes shut to try and stop this from happening. Like if I wished hard enough, I could make all this disappear. Eva, please say something, Mom said. It's good morning. We know you're not exactly going to be happy about it right now, but can you at least understand why we can't say no? I wanted to scream, but it felt like I was detached from my body. Their voices sounded far away, as though all this was happening to someone else. No, was all I could think to say. Then no, again. I'm not even sure if I said it out loud. It's unfortunate that this has come at a time when you're upset about Jen's vlog, Dad said. We've talked about it and both agreed not to cross this kind of boundary again. It's your body. You've got to have a say. But we hope you can see this isn't about just this one vlog. This is about the whole channel. It wouldn't make financial sense to turn down this publicity. Our lifestyle costs a lot of money, Eva. The holidays, the visit to Farmore, the cars, saving for the future. I closed my eyes. I'd already heard it a million times. This speech was the reason I put on that stupid avocado costume, but it wasn't going to work. Not this time. I stood up, scraping my chair against the floor. If you talk about my period on TV, I will never speak to you again. Oh, Eva, please don't say that, Mom said. Eva, Dad said, you are sounding a little ridiculous. I don't care. I'm serious. If you speak about my period on that show, I will never speak to you again. Okay, well, that's up to you, Dad said. But you know, the period vlog is the reason they want us on the show. Will you please sit down so we can talk about this? What's the point? You're not even listening to me. I walked over to the stairs, deliberately knocking over a pile of washing on the bottom step. Eva, please don't be like this, Dad called after me. There are millions of kids who dream of the kind of life you have. Well, adopt one of them and leave me off your stupid channel. I heard Mom start crying, but I was too angry to care. They were going to talk about my period in front of the entire country. My life was sinking into quicksand, and there was nothing I could grab hold of. Eva, please try to understand, sweetheart, Mom called. We love you. We don't want you to be upset with us. You're going to do it anyway, aren't you? No matter what I say. But I already knew the answer. I ran upstairs, slammed my bedroom door, and threw myself onto my bed. Then I let out a scream into my pillow. I turned over and hot tears slid down my face. They were never going to stop all about Eva. Everything I did would be captured by their cameras and streamed for their subscribers. Now they were going on TV. The channel would grow faster than ever. They'd gain even more views, more subscribers. I was never going to escape. Not unless I did something drastic. Only it wasn't until a few days later I figured out what that could be. If you want to find out what it is and listen to Chapter 9, please subscribe to Elizabeth Reads. Bye-bye.